Hello, Mallards. It is Friday, and I worked at the Fringe offices today and went grocery shopping and took a nice walk outside. And that's pretty much it. But I did watch an episode of The X-Files, and that's something I haven't mentioned yet to the vlog. So I thought today was the day to tell you that I made the decision sometime in October that I just wanted to watch the entirety of The X-Files. I am moving very slowly. I'm just watching like an episode here and there when I have some time where the roommates aren't around or where they're like gone to bed or doing something else. And that's interspersed with the time that I spend like reading SMAUs and fan fiction and like playing Marvel Snap and Marvel Future Revolution. So it's like not necessarily something that I'm going to do very quickly. I'm 14 or 15 episodes through season one, and I'm probably going to continue to move at that pace. So sometime in a few years, I will eventually finish the series. But it's been really interesting. So I have a vague recollection from like middle school / late elementary school of watching some episodes of The X-Files with my dad. And I think as I get into the later seasons that were like airing at that time, I might be like, oh yes, I remember this. I didn't watch the show when it came back because I wasn't like excited about that because I didn't have particularly strong connection to the original series. But I recently came across a thing that was talking about the X-Files and some of the lore that was part of the X-Files, and I thought, oh yeah, I was kind of in a spooky mood at the time, and I've sort of always wanted to watch the entirety of this show, so that's what I'm up to right now. It has been fascinating. It's fun for me to watch an older television show like this because I don't often do that. Like, I watched all of Buffy and Angel, and that was probably the last time that I like went really back in time to watch something. And I recognize like television has been around for a long time, and there's definitely shows that are much older than the X-Files or Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But I haven't watched most of those unless I was watching things while they were airing. So it's been interesting to go back and watch some of this. The set design has been kind of fun to look at. I have, like, I don't know if I necessarily have more of a grasp of how things are done now that I am older, or I'm just paying more attention, or the way that technology has changed has like changed the way that I view these things. But I've enjoyed a lot of the practical effects that they have, even if I can see how they're all done and therefore they don't seem so mysterious. I still think they're cool. In a similar vein to, I have watched several episodes of the original Star Trek series, and like being able to identify the items that they're using to create these futuristic worlds has been kind of fun. And I'm having a similar experience in the X-Files. I like the relationship between Mulder and Scully. Like, I get why that's a thing. I also get why people thought Fox Mulder was kind of a heartthrob, which I, like, as a small, did not understand. But now that I'm older and, like, we would be more contemporary as far as age goes, I get it. He's a good-looking guy. And he has good sad face. And we all know I love a good sad face. So that has been enjoyable. Their dynamic is kind of strange. Like, I feel like they got very close way too fast, in my personal opinion. And I'll be curious to see, like, if that changes a little bit as the series progresses or what happens there. And maybe that's just the way that shows were back then, where, like, people were like, boom, we're really close. But it did strike me as kind of odd. The other thing that's been fascinating is that I feel like in every single episode, there actually is a supernatural something or other. And like, we know that as the audience. And so we are fully on board believing Mulder, like, he's absolutely right. All of these things are real. And Scully is still kind of a skeptic, and I find that fascinating. And partially it's because she doesn't see the stuff, but I think, wow, how do you not know? And I get the feeling that the show is going to gravitate towards the big question being, how do people not know about these things? Because they're definitely real, rather than are these things real or not? And I'll be curious to see how that develops and like if there's an arc. And also the fact that the show comes back many years later is fascinating, because that will make me very curious what the like overarching themes and story are going to be. And so I'm enjoying this. If you watch The X-Files and you have favorite episodes, let me know in the comments what your favorite episodes are so that I can look forward to getting to those. The other thing I was going to say is a lot of this show takes place at night, in the dark, quote unquote. And I sometimes get pulled out of the show by how light it is outside in the dark. Like, everybody's faces are perfectly lit. There's just like light shining from everywhere at all times, especially in this episode I just watched where they went to a community of the Kindred, who are sort of like the Amish, but they're definitely aliens. And they were wandering on a farm where people only have like small lanterns. There's no electric light. And there were like bright, like football stadium floodlights shining on the spaces and lighting them up. And I was like, this is wild. So sometimes the lighting really takes me out of it. I'm willing to forgive all of the ridiculously cheesy effects because it's early, it's older CGI and that kind of stuff. And like, sometimes they're weird, but I'm like, yep, that's just the way that it is. But the lighting, man, whew, it's really getting to me. So, like I said, let me know in the comments if you have a favorite X-Files episode, or if you've seen the show, or if you want to hear more about this, or if you don't want to hear more about this. I just like comments, so comment anything, and I'll see you tomorrow.